Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the A46. It's the Tier 6 British Premium Light Tank located on the defending spawn of Erlenberg Assault. It's under the command of Picklefish44. Well, this is a tank that actually came during one of the mini marathons. I was too busy on videos, I didn't get one of these, so unfortunately I've never played it. But I've been told that it plays very similar to a Tetrak, but it's just at a higher tier, and it was supposed to be a replacement tank for the M3 and the M5 Stuart, and later on the Chappie. So it's a light tank, it's a spotter. It's got a 76mm gun, 105 alpha, and 105mm of pen as well. It's basically a tank that was supposed to be very, very light indeed. It's only 17 tons, not much in the way of armour. The heaviest armour was on the turret at the front, 35mm, and 31mm on the front of the hull. But really it wasn't designed to stop a shell other than just maybe a lucky shot that it would deflect. Got a VK2801-105, it's gone into the water, comes up out of the water, takes a round and he's out the game. Oh dear. He did take a lot of damage before he came out of the water. It's got a top speed of 60 kilometers an hour, so it does move fairly quickly actually. 350 horsepower. It was actually a design that was put to Vickers actually. They were thinking about manufacturing it after the war, and in the end they changed their mind and effectively moved the development into the FV300 project, which, as you know, became part of various items all built on the same chassis basically, including the FV304. Well, that AMX 1375 didn't get very far and he's had to pull back, and now he's actually stuck with only 21 hit points left, and if he does come up he's likely to get taken out. Well, they took out one of our tanks, they took out our SP1C over that side, but I have the feeling Picklefish is changing position because he wants to get into the cover over this side of the map to take on that AMX if he comes this way. Oh no, he's changed his mind. He's going back to his original position. I think actually this is a good position, and he has spotted a Stuart Mill now, and he can get shots on that guy and easily pen it. Yeah, look at those shots, and he gets 564 spotting assist there. So it was very worthwhile actually moving back to this position, but he would have got the same spotting even if he'd gone over to the west side of the map. And now he's actually spotting this SU-100. Now he does have the muzzle brake, so maybe that is the one with the 122mm gun. Oh, here we go, the AMX 1375. He's managed to sneak his way round, but he unfortunately met the Wolverine, and the Wolverine took him out, but the Wolverine's been killed in return by an M10 RBFM. So I don't think the SU-100 can see us at the moment, but he knows that somebody's spotting this side because obviously his sixth sense must have gone off when he poked out there. There's the M10 that killed our Wolverine. Okay, Picklefish is in a good position. He can't be seen by the M10, and the M10's close, but he doesn't want the M10 to get closer unless he's fully in the bush. He is fully in the bush now. Like, he was fully in the bush and then he came straight out of it again. Oh dear. He's anxious at the moment. I think it's either that he's anxious the M10's getting closer, and in fact there are a couple of tanks getting behind him, but they're on the main high street, the main road. It's only that M10 he has to worry about really, and while he was in the bush the M10 couldn't see him. Okay, well he's taking up the position occupied by the M10, the Wolverine that was actually taken out. So everybody on that side of the map's going to see their sixth sense go off if they get spotted. And that's going to make them think twice, because they've got a big long gap to go across before they get to our area. And there's a P43 coming up. Okay, so we need our teammates to help us here. And we're using the bush mechanics, so our teammates behind us can get shots on that guy so long as we're spotting him. There he is. They need to keep firing. Highlight the target. He's actually taking pot shots himself at the moment. And he's getting nice pens, but the P43 worked out where he was and has fired one into the bush. He knows that he must be in the centre of the bush. Well, the P43 did get killed in the Empire RSU-100, so he's out of the game. Okay, we've got a Porlac and a P43 coming up the main street towards our cap area. Remember, it is an assault game, so they've got to do it within 10 minutes. They've only got 4 minutes left. And still a large number of our team over on the east side of the map. We're the furthest one to the west on the map. Now, I find that a bit disconcerting, but on the other hand, the fact is he's going to get spotting if anybody does come up the west side. Remember, they've got an SU-100 and a KB-1 on this side of the map, or at least they've been seen on this side, and a Stug 3 Ausrung G. And those guys are very likely to come up this way. The mistake by the enemy team is they're not coming up already. They should have been in already. Picklefish is doing his best to keep an eye out. Whoa, now that could have accidentally got him spotted. And there's the SU-100. Now, is his sixth sense gone off? No, so that SU-100 can't see him at the moment, but he has been seen now, and the reason is the Stug. Oh, now, oh dear, oh dear. This is not what we want to see. That Stug could kill us now, just by landing on top of us, but oh, he's managed to flip himself over. Now, he can drive round that wreck, come up the other side. He's going to get a proximity spot on that Stug in a second. There he is. He fires one in. You can just keep going. Oh, he's got another enemy tank now. The Stug goes in for a ram, but he's too quick for that. And he's still pumping rounds in. And that SU-100, that should be the big threat. He might have the 122mm gun, in which case he's got 399 alpha. And he's pumping both of them at the same time. This is multitasking. By Picklefish. He's killed one. He's now going for the other. Just stay behind him now. That's it. Just keep behind him. There's not a lot he can do. Ah! Yeah, I'm not sure if that was him or his teammate, the enemy Arty. I think that was the enemy Arty that hit the SU-100. In fact, they're both taking turns. It's a gorilla and an enemy PP, and he got the kill. I'm pretty certain that was an enemy Arty round, probably their PP, who actually fired a round directly into his own teammate's engine deck. And there's more Arty rounds coming in. What a thing to do. Take on two enemy tanks, two tank destroyers at the same time with both enemy Artys firing at you, and he still gets both tank destroyers. And now he's going out for the enemy Arty. 1 minute 20 seconds left. Can he get an enemy Arty? I think he might be able to. Just needs to drive south as fast as he can. Well, there's the gorilla. It's a bit too far away to get him. No, he's got buildings in the way, and he was spotted. So the enemy BP is going to be firing at him momentarily. Now, where will the shell come from? Well, it actually appears to be coming from the other side of the battlefield. I was looking there to see where the shell might come from. We didn't see the tracer originate from the woods, but he might be around here. We've got 44 seconds left. I think we got the game. It's just now to get the enemy Arty if he can find them. They did try to kill him. I know we're an Arty channel, but after all, only fair game. You shoot at us, we shoot at you. And he hasn't found them. He's found an M6. That guy's a little too close. How's he going to handle this? Well, I don't think he's going to get any more damage. Oh, he might. Yes, he does get it. And it's the enemy VP, and he doesn't get the kill. The kill goes to his teammate, Arty Dodger, the Super Hellcat. Well, that was a particularly active end of the game, but what you didn't see, or you probably didn't see, was that Picklefish found the enemy Arty, who was actually pointed towards his platoon mate, Arty Dodger, in the Super Hellcat, and the moment he spotted him, he actually put a round into the rear of the Fifi, but the Fifi fired at the Super Hellcat at the same time as the Super Hellcat fired back, and they both killed each other right at the end of the game, just before the clock ticked out. So yes, those both end up as legitimate kills, and he got the damage assist when the enemy Arty was killed, but unfortunately his teammate was killed in the process. So let's have a look at the team score. Oh, before we look at this. He got an ace tanker out of that game for very well played, and especially that moment when he took on the SU-100 and also the Stug 3 Aslains G at the same time. And even when the Arty was firing at him, he just ran circles around them, and they couldn't keep up with his speed. 60 kilometers an hour. It's a very good speed, and it's a very good tight turning circle for the A46. He also got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He managed to get 7. He also got a win rate of 13,018, which is very, very high indeed, and I think you have to put that down to the fact that he not only actually spotted for tanks, he actually killed them as well. And he was doing so exceptionally in a very brave way as well. Very difficult to do that in a light tank when you know you're facing a lot of enemy opponents. Let's have a look at team score and see where he is. Well, he did actually get the second highest damage in the game, because the highest damage went to that enemy Fifi, who got 1,874 hit points of damage, whereas Picklefish got 1,873, just 1 hit point less. 1 hit point less. Oh dear. So he was let down by RNG in the end, because otherwise, if he'd actually got slightly a better roll, then he would have taken the high caliber instead of the Fifi. But the Fifi didn't have 20% of the enemy hit pool anyway. The second highest damage in the game, third highest damage in the game, went to the Gorilla, who got 1,402 on their team, and the fourth highest damage went to the Super Hellcat, his platoon mate, Arty Dodger, who got 1,268 but died in a split second after the enemy Fifi died. But the enemy Fifi was the highest scorer in the game. The Porlak tank managed to Spartan the steel wall, and we can see the enemy Wolverine got a Aslains medal, which is again very unusual. I think that's for actually killing 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers, which 1 tier higher in a tank destroyer. Anyway, when it came to kills, it's the Super Hellcat Arty Dodger who got 4 out of that one. Picklefish managed to get 3. Unfortunately, because Arty Dodger died right at the end of the game, they missed out on getting the Brothers in Arms. They would have got it otherwise, and unfortunately they didn't. And then the third highest on kills was the Wolverine and the Porlak tank and the Gorilla on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it's definitely Picklefish. 1,277, the only player to get over 1,000. The next highest being the P43 in his own team with 553. And after that, it's the Porlak, who managed 550 but didn't die in the battle. So let's have a look at the details. He fired 30 rounds in that game. You only have 50 rounds ammunition capacity, so he still had 20 rounds spare at the end. 23 direct hits on the enemy, 19 penetrations, and a very decent fire rate of 1 shot every 4 seconds. I think he actually had a fire rate of about 1 shot every 3 seconds, and that's how he managed to run rings around both the Stug and the SU-100. He also did damage of 1,873 hit points, of which 324 were at more than 300 meters, so most of the damage at close range. He also received 1 hit. It was a penetration. Yep, that was the shot that he received. I think it was from the Stug, or was it? No, it was the P43. The P43 fired into him as as he was hidden in the bush. He just worked out which line of sight the shell was coming in from and just fired a blind shot into the bush and actually hit Picklefish. One hit received by way of splash damage as well. Yeah, the enemy Arty, the gorilla, tried to land one on him. And in fact, actually landed it, as I said, on the engine deck of the SU-100 instead, which I think he must have been a bit embarrassed about that. But, I mean, what can you do? Your teammate is in a tussle with another enemy tank. You know that shell is not going to do any damage to your teammate, but it is going to stun him. And unfortunately, it did stun the SU-100, but Picklefish, well, he managed to get his kill anyway. 7 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, and 3 destroyed. 1,303 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he earned 60,663 credits, got 30,332 from personal reserves, 90,995 credits altogether. And after repair, ammunition resupply, he actually ended up, even though he used premium ammo, with 10,650 credits profit. 1,915 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 1,916 for competing a mission and events, 575 for this being a premium vehicle, 1,915 experience as personal reserves bonus, and 8,237 experience points altogether. So very good game for Picklefish indeed. I think with that win 8 alone, you can see that he definitely performed well. And although I don't have an A46, I do appreciate the fact that Picklefish actually scored very, very well in that game. And I would be very happy with a tank that performs like this one does. But I don't think I'm ever going to have one. So there you go. Here's the armor profile for the A46. Now you can see a lot of red at the front of the vehicle, but that's actually a bit misleading. Mainly because the armor on this tank is very, very light indeed, and that's where the heaviest stuff is. 31.8 rather at the front of the vehicle, coming at 32. On the upper plate, it's the same again, 37.7 because of the angling. Front of the turret, 35mm, but coming out as 37.3. And you can see the sides of the vehicle are only 20mm. We've got that area where the driver sits here is only 19mm or 20mm, coming at 24. You can see that the rear of the vehicle is only 16mm. The engine deck is only 11mm. We've got a bit round the back which is only 9mm. The sides of the turret, you look at that, you say 20mm, oh, anything will just go straight through that. Really, the armor is there only to stop bullets and shell splinters. It's not designed to stop a shell, which is why any shell from that Stug or the SU-100 could have ended Picklefish's game very, very quickly, but they didn't actually manage to land one on him. If they fired an HE round, they might have finished him off just like that, but they didn't. So that was very, very lucky indeed. If we show the live model, you can see, yeah, any shell will go through. And that's the 76mm showing there. It's just going to go straight through the armor. Nothing really, as if nothing's there. Now, this is the module map for the A46. And as you can see, Wargaming haven't actually put the modules in. But there is a way around this, because basically this tank was based on the Tetrak. It was... technical solutions were tested on Tetrak, so you could possibly say, oh, well, this is basically a Tetrak model. And what we've got here is we've probably got the gunner on the right-hand side, we've got the commander on the left-hand side, and we've got the driver in the center up front. If we actually look at the Tetrak models, we'll come out there to do the tank selector, and we look at Tetrak, which is at tier 3. So we go down, we'll take that out there. And we look out the light tank for the Tetrak. Where are you? It's a premium. I'm not seeing it there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's tier 4. It's showing the Valentine. Surely not tier 2. Oh, it is tier 2. Okay, that's the BT7. I just selected the wrong one. There's the Tetrak. Right. Okay, so basically it's a similar design, but just slightly bigger. So if we do the full screen version, there you can see driver in the front, we've got the gunner on the right, tank commander on the left, fuel tanks either side of the driver. At the back we've got the, oh no, didn't want that. We've got the engine at the very back with 2 ammo racks either side of the vehicle, back of the bustle we've got a radio, and it looks like the gunner is also doing the job of the loader, or the commander's doing the loader's job probably, and that's why there's only a crew of 3 in that one. I'm not sure, but I will check, just absolutely make sure that the stats... Oh, there is a loader in this one as well. So the loader is probably still in the turret, at the back of the turret. And he's the one who doesn't have the viewports. So it must be that the commander's on the left-hand side of the turret. We go to the this 3D model again. Okay, if we go to that 3D model and we go to the collision model, we can see that, yes, the loader is probably at the back of that turret. And the radio will probably be there. The gunner on this side, tank commander that side, loader either sitting directly behind probably sitting behind the gunner actually, for that matter. But it's a configuration for a Tetrac, or rather the technical solutions were tested on the Tetrac, but it probably was very, very similar in design. I hope you enjoyed that replay. It was a particularly good battle and some funny moments in it. If you did, please give the video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.